Good morning, everyone. Good morning to those of you that are joining us in person, and good morning to those of you that are joining us on Zoom. As you can see, we're using a Promethean board this morning. We are so excited about our Promethean boards. Good morning. We have them in our pre-K 4 rooms all the way up to 6th grade, and then we have this portable one here in the fellowship hall. This morning, you're going to be hearing from Sarah Booker, who is our financial director, as well as Jessica Banger, who's our director of education, and I'm Suzanne Davis, the head of school. This morning, we're going to start out by sharing about our Smart Lab that is coming in August of 2024, and I'm going to turn it over to Jessica Banger.
Good morning. Is that open? Here we go. Got two places to switch today, so it might take us just a second here. Exciting new things we talked about last week was we were looking into more STEM education for students. So something exciting that's coming to our Redeemer, as Suzanne said, in August of 2024 is our STEM lab, which we were able to purchase through our EANS funding. So they were able to give us some money to get that rolling. We've picked our floor plan, we're rolling and ready to go, but we wanted to share with you a few of the exciting things that are coming our way. You can see some statistics here across the bottom. So since 1990, we've seen 79% jump in jobs that require STEM brain, STEM knowledge. So we're trying to prepare our kids for that next level. This is a neat one for girls. They say that 2 in 3 women are not encouraged to do this STEM field for various reasons. So this STEM exposure, STEM education will be beneficial to them. And then this last one, the average salary for people in STEM related jobs is $87,000 at the beginning, which is pretty cool. So the next 3 slides that you're actually going to see have a ton of information on them. And I am not going to read everything to you, but if you watch the video later, I'd encourage you to pause it and look through all of these things. This was really exciting to me on the education level, because as you'll notice, it's broken down into kinder to 2nd, 3rd through 5th, and then 6th through 8th. And if you take the time, the bullet points perfectly build on one another. So if you look at the first bullet point here, it says build and complete circuits, how electricity flows. So they learn that the kinder through 2 level. Then they do something else with it in the 3rd through 5th level. And then they're applying it and writing about it in the 6th through 8th grade level. So it builds with their knowledge and what they're able to handle through each step of the way. And then I wanted to talk to our rep and ask a little bit about this to really kind of get to know it. Because a lot of times when companies say, oh yeah, it builds, it grows, the kids end up doing the same thing every year. So I specifically asked that question. So if it says kinder to 2nd does this, does that mean they do it in 3rd to 5th with one little twist? And he said, no, it's a completely different kit. It's a completely different set. So what they're handing us is this ready to go system that's going to be easy to build for our kids, which is really cool. So I'll flip to the next one so you can kind of see through some of them. But a couple of the things that you'll see on here is they're going to learn about circuits, coding, 2-dimensional and 3-dimensional shapes, which they'll eventually use to build into their own simple machines. They're going to look at the design process, and then as they get older into the scientific method, and then renewable and non-renewable resources at every different level. So they really get exposure to a lot of different things, which is really neat. And then again, if you watch these first words, you can see, the last one was a lot of build and explore. Then we're getting into more still explore, but capture, use, design, learn, perform, describe. And then when we get one step bigger into 6th and 8th grade with our big kids, they're applying, they're designing, they're using it, they're explaining how it works. So it grows with their brains, which is a really exciting thing for us in the education world. Like I said, I'd really encourage you when you get the video to stop and look at all of them, because there's a lot of really cool things all throughout to kind of see. And as you dive into it, it just keeps getting better and better for us. We're really excited for what's coming and excited for our big kids to get in and really use all of those kinds of things in that Smart Lab. Next piece I wanted to talk to you about is just a keep an eye on your email. Within the next couple of weeks, we're going to be starting our new parent survey, which is called Parent Pulse. So you'll be getting an email from Parent Pulse. And what Parent Pulse does is it works just as like a heartbeat. So it drips these surveys to parents a little bit at a time. So not everybody's going to get the survey at once. it might do this group of families one day, this group of families the next week. So it kind of is giving us this live feedback all the time. And then the surveys are also super short. They're giving you shorter surveys so you can kind of roll through it pretty quickly and it doesn't take up a lot of your time. And then I think Ms. Booker is up next.
Yay, tuition. Yay, everybody's favorite topic.
So, yay. Okay, so hold on, let me just get to my notes here. Why is my phone being weird? Yes, okay, there is going to be a tuition increase this year. But the good news is we kept it to between 4% and 5%. It averages 4.6%, which if you consider what inflation is doing, the costs of utilities and security that have just done nothing but go up. Yeah, so I hope when the tuition sheet will be on the website, it'll also be in your parent portal. So you'll be able to go and look at your specific grades. But again, we really tried hard this year to keep it down. On the flip side, we also, we did increase our comprehensive fee. It has been $700 in years past. We bumped that up to $900. We have not had an increase in our comprehensive fee for at least 4 years. So this pays for, when we go and buy your supplies in the school year, we use this throughout the year for your student. It's all your school supplies, field trips, and things like that. So the other thing is there will not be an increase in extended care. We increased that last year because we hadn't increased it in 4 or 5 years again, but that will remain the same as this year. So small increase in tuition, slight increase in comprehensive fee, but no increase in extended care. A few reminders that are on here for those that are interested in financial assistance, you must reapply. And if you email me at sbooker@ordallas.org, or if you just call the office, we can get those forms to you and get you logged into the correct place. There's also a place on our website that you can go and get to the forms. And we do offer a 25% discount for those that are active church members. And part of that is because, as we talked before, the church provides a lot of support. They provide a lot of the maintenance, they pay for the utilities, they do just a lot of things for us. If you'll notice, I just want to give a little shout out, all the classrooms in the lower school, except we still have 2 more to do, got all new LED lighting, and it makes a huge difference to your kids, where all the lights now are bright and LEDs. They're not different colors. It looks great. Makes the rooms, and it makes reading and doing work in that room a lot better. But that was just done by the church. And in the end, that probably was like a $15,000 project. So maybe even a little more. Any questions? Okay. And then just one final shout out. It is Giving Tuesday. We're going to send out a few emails later this morning. If you have not given to QFE and you'd like this time to go ahead and participate in Giving Tuesday through giving to QFE. Okay. All right. That's all I got.
Thank you, Ms. Booker. Tuition's always a fun topic, but I want you to know we are a nonprofit school. So everything that you all pay, we use every year to meet the needs of our students. So I want you to take a look. Oops. I want you to take a look up here. Does anybody remember these? I see some Care Bears, Power Rangers. Mr. Magoo, did you have Power Rangers? I see some strawberry shortcake, some Hungry Hippos. So think back to when we were a child. This is what we wanted Santa to bring us, or what we wanted to see underneath the Christmas tree on Christmas morning. Now check this out. How many of you have been asked for this? Especially if your child's in about 4th, 5th, 6th grade, maybe 3rd grade. Technology. Technology is on our kids' minds. They're wanting iPads and cell phones and mom, everybody has one. I have to have one. So this is our topic for this morning. So the question is, when can I have a cell phone? A lot of parents have been talking about this and asking what our cell phone policy is. And our cell phone policy at Our Redeemer is that we don't have one. If they need to reach out and call you, they sure can. But we do know that each family's needs are different. Some parents have a cell phone because they need their child to call them if they're at work. They need their child to call them after school activities. Maybe they have shared parenting. They're with mom and dad, then grandma, then dad, then mom. But it depends on your family's necessity. But I want you to know here at Our Redeemer, we encourage no cell phones. We encourage that your students don't even have a cell phone, because I'm going to talk to you about some pitfalls today about technology. But currently, our children do not bring cell phones to school and they're not using them in the classroom. So this was an interesting statistic. And when I did my research, I looked at a lot of different resources. But right now, 42% of children at the age of 10 have a cell phone, 71% at the age of 12, and 91% at the age of 14. So to get onto TikTok or Snapchat or Facebook or Instagram or any of those things, you have to be 13. Now, as a parent, stop and think about what you're seeing on those sites. And you have to ask yourself, okay, if I give my child a cell phone, are they going to be ready for what they see on social media? I know I see a lot of things about how you look, what you eat, where you go, maybe what's in style and what's not. YouTube, even though you subscribe to YouTube as a child, sometimes there's an inappropriate commercial. Also, gaming becomes very, very, very addictive. We know that whenever children are on their cell phone or on their iPad playing games, they can't wait till they get to the next game. And every time they see technology, that's all they want. It also shows that children that are ADD or ADHD, it increases those type of behaviors. It also causes differences in their sleep patterns, as well as they're missing out on the moment. So I'm going to talk to you this morning about some other things you can do rather than handing your child technology or cell phone. I know we've all been there, maybe at the doctor's office or in the car or out at a restaurant, and we're like, oh, wow, I need some quick entertainment. But don't fall for the everyone has one here at Our Redeemer. What I love about Our Redeemer is in our parent groups, we're able to talk to other parents about whether or not they have them, whether or not they don't. And here at Our Redeemer, they don't. You know, the desire of our heart is to add 7th and 8th grade, but to prepare our students who are now 6th graders, I have visited some other schools, and some schools let their children have cell phones during passing classes or at lunch. That broke my heart, because during passing classes, isn't that a great time to talk in person and at lunch to speak? Other schools have a bag on the door where they hang their cell phones at the beginning of the day and then they get them after school. I loved that. But here at Our Redeemer, I just want everyone to know we are not in favor of having cell phones. So the next thing is the American Academy of Pediatrics shares that there should be absolutely no technology of any type younger than 24 months. 24 months. So no iPad, no cell phone. I mean, yes, every once in a while you might have, you know, Coco Melon with the music on in the background, but they recommend no technology type. And then if you're 2 and up, they recommend only 1 hour a day. And that includes quality programming. Maybe it's watching Sesame Street or educational games, fine motor activities, or learning new skills. One thing I found in my research, and I thought this was really great, they talked about different types of technologies, and there are 2 different types. One's like digital broccoli, it's good for you. And then the other one is fun, so it's digital ice cream. And I just thought that was brilliant, but here's the thing. Either one of these, if you overdo digital broccoli and you eat too much broccoli, you're going to have a tummy ache. You're going to start hating broccoli. So just because it's a good type of technology doesn't mean we should go over a lot of hours and be on our iPad or our cell phone or on the TV all the time. Okay, so we've talked about avoiding technology. Now what? And I wanted to give you some tips that we do within our own home and that I've learned as an educator over the years. And it has really helped because we don't take technology with us. So if you're out at dinner and you're like, what can I do to entertain my child? Or you're waiting for a doctor's appointment, or you're just riding in the car, I take Play-Doh and we make Play-Doh creations at the table, or while we're waiting, we try to guess what it is. Another one is I Spy. You can do this any day. You can say, I see something that's red and alive. And you would say, oh, is it a poinsettia? Yes, it is. Or find something that starts with the letter B. Letter B. I see a bagel. Or find something that's red. It also helps build vocabulary. Driving down the road, you could play the alphabet game. Look for a letter A. Are you looking at license plates or out the window? How many of you, does this bring back memories of a child in childhood? Remember, we didn't have technology in our car on the backs of our seats. We looked out the window, we listened to the radio, we talked to our parents. I also keep Uno Connect 4 and a deck of cards in my purse. They sell these at the dollar store, the Dollar Tree, or Walmart. You can even play tic-tac-toe on your notes page of your iPhone, as well as family visiting. What was the best part of your day? What was your favorite thing? Did you give a compliment to anybody? Did you help anybody? Literally have a bag of tricks. Now, here's the thing I want to make sure everybody understands. It is not bad if you have technology in your home. It is not. But a lot of people have asked, with Christmas coming, do we recommend it? What kind do we recommend? So these are tips for you to do once your child has surpassed that hour, or maybe you don't want technology in your home. It's always great to learn new ideas. So now the question is technology at Our Redeemer. One thing I truly love about Our Redeemer is we don't push a lot of technology. I have not shared this, but I'm going to share it today. So everybody knows I took a few years off after being an administrator to be a stay-at-home mom for 3 years. And I was debating whether or not to send my child to Richardson ISD or to Our Redeemer. So I went and subbed. And I subbed in the public school. And I saw what happens in the larger classes when some children are done with their work and others aren't. The teachers would say, get your Chromebook, get your iPad. So what did they do? They rushed through every single thing, and then they're on their Chromebook and their iPad. Every time for indoor recess, they're on their Chromebook and their iPad every minute of the day. And it made my heart sink. And it was another reason why I love Our Redeemer so much, because we don't have any technology in classrooms for ages 1 through pre-K 3. They also do not have a Promethean board. So your children are doing hands-on activities. And when they're finished doing something, they have another type of activity to work on that's hands-on, that's interactive. We don't say, go get on an iPad or go get on a Chromebook. So that does raise the question, okay, now what does technology look like in pre-K 4 through 6th grade? And I want to share something with you. As a parent, as our children grows, we want them to be able to function in the real world. And we want them to be able to be competitive in the jobs that they receive. If you hold off on technology, trust me, your child will not be behind. They will figure out how to work that iPad or that iPhone. It is not a time-sensitive thing. So if you're not giving them an iPhone or an iPad by age 10, they're not going to not be able to go to Harvard and be a geoscientist or something like that. They're never going to be behind. But you may feel that way because, you know, the age-old saying, everybody has one. So here at Our Redeemer, we do have these Promethean boards. And in our younger grades, we do use them during this instruction for letter writing and mathematics. You can turn this into a whiteboard and kids can come up, and it's another way to practice fine motor or do their math problems on here. It's just another way of making it fun rather than using a dry erase board or paper pencil. In the afternoon, sometimes during extended care, you may have seen the Promethean board on and seen an author reading a story. Sometimes the teachers do that every once in a while to get the group settled, or if there is indoor recess. We do not want this to be an everyday thing, but I know it has happened a couple times in the last couple months, so I wanted to bring that up, but that is not one of our expectations. We want children to be playing, going outside, interacting, doing hands-on activities, doing STEM buckets. The other thing is during teaching, we can make learning come alive and show real pictures. So if we're talking about maps and landforms, we can pull up a picture of the Grand Canyon. We can pull up a picture of the monuments. Also, a lot of our teachers create slideshows because as children get older, you want to touch on all senses while they're learning: visual, hearing, hands-on. And it's great to do a slideshow, and then they can put in some different videos as they're going, because it is an important skill to be able to learn how to take notes and listen to your teacher. Also, for our older kids, in middle school and high school, Google Classroom is a big deal, especially in our public schools. Teachers post assignments in the child's Google Classroom, then the child goes there to check Google Classroom and submits their assignment through that. While we don't believe in a lot of technology, we want our children to be successful whenever they leave our Redeemer to go on to 7th and 8th grade before we're able to add it here. Lastly, we are doing keyboarding skills in grades kindergarten through 6th grade. So we do have Chromebooks in kindergarten through 6. They stay on the charging station. But the reason we're teaching keyboarding is we don't do the STAR test here. So the state of Texas teaches the TEKS or the TEKS, which are the Texas Essential Knowledge and Skills to all children. We teach those too. We follow that here at our Redeemer. But we don't have to test our children every single month, every single day, like some public schools do to get data. We have smaller numbers. We're more in tune with our students. But the test we do use is the MAPS testing, which is the measures of academic progress. And we take that 2 times a year. Here's the thing. When we get back those scores, we look at them and we determine reading levels. We determine math levels. We determine enrichment. We determine who needs to be in this small group, who needs to have extra. And a question is, whenever we take MAPS is, well, were they nervous and that's why their score was lower? Or did they not know how to navigate the laptop or navigate the Chromebook? And that is why we teach the keyboarding so that our students can be successful. Another thing we use here is Accelerated Reader. It has been around a long time. I even used it as a teacher. So they read books and then their comprehension is tested through an Accelerated Reader test and they earn points. So it's fun, it's engaging. But if you don't know how to use the keyboard, how are you going to show what you know on the Accelerated Reader test? And lastly, we use IXL in our math in grades 1st through 6th, and that is a way to play games with the math. It's on their own level. It is being used in the classroom as a form of enrichment or maybe a form of practice. We know that math has changed where now it's basically all word problems, real life examples. The days of just having, I call them naked problems, and I have to watch it because if you say that in the classroom, they laugh. But I call them naked problems where it might be 13 plus 37. That's not math anymore. It's all word problems and thinking. So we can plug in IXL support with your math. So if you have any questions about technology and how it's used in the classroom, please don't hesitate to ask. We'd love to answer those questions, but I want you to know that children are being enriched here and not being put on technology all day long. So the next thing that's coming up is Grow into Kindergarten.
We want to respect your time, so we'll try to go through kind of quickly, but we just wanted to invite you to a couple of things that are upcoming here in the end of November and beginning of December as we get into school. On Thursday, we're going to have our Grow into Kindergarten, and this is targeted for pre-K3, pre-K4, and KinderBridge parents, although anybody is welcome. But what we're going to talk about there is what KinderBridge and kindergarten look like so that you can make a good choice for your child, whether you feel like they should be in that KinderBridge level or go ahead and be in the kindergarten grouping. So you'll hear from me on that day on the education side. You'll hear from Ms. Davis. And we have 2 presentations for that, one at 8:30 and then one at 3:30. They are the same, so you don't have to come to both of them. Oops. You want to do this one?
Sure, you can.
Okay. Then coming up December 5th, we have our annual cookies and caroling. And this is an opportunity for our students to do a little service project and do some Christmas caroling to homebound church members. So you'll visit with your family and a other group from our Redeemer about 3 different homes where we go and they know we're coming. And then we just sing a few Christmas songs to them, a few hymns, and then a few fun ones. And we all dress in our Christmas attire and just have a good time and let the kids kind of bring that Christmas spirit. We meet here in the cafeteria at 3:45 for cookies and just a little bit of fun before we head out.
You may have seen in the Wildcat Roar that it says the fellowship hall, which is the cafeteria or the courtyard. Basically, it's both. You never know what the weather is going to do, so we're trying to be overly prepared not to confuse anybody. And lastly, I want to talk about our Christmas programs. Our children have been practicing and singing and working on a Dynamite Christmas program for you in both our early childhood and our elementary. Our elementary Christmas program is December 11th. It is in the chapel and it begins at 6 p.m. Children do not have to wear their uniforms. They can wear their church clothes or their Christmas best, and we would like to invite all of you to attend that. Then on December 15th, which is the Friday before we release for Christmas break, our early childhood Christmas program is in the chapel at 2:15, and that is pre-K 3 through Kinderbridge. The reason that the 1s and 2s are not included is because they're still pretty little, and we want to prevent tears and heartache. So we will be doing our annual sing-along at the end of the year, but that is pre-K 3 through Kinderbridge. Lastly, Christmas programs. So right after the presentation with our children that are pre-K 3 through Kinderbridge, the Christmas party will be in the classroom for all early childhood. That's ages 1 all the way up through Kinderbridge, and it will begin at 2:45, and parents are welcome. In our elementary classrooms, our teachers have a Christmas extravaganza. They are doing activities all day long, enjoying treats all day long, making crafts all day long. Well, if they're doing it all day long, I don't know very many parents that can stay all day long because you all have things to do, very important things. So that is going to be for students only. So we just wanted to let you know about some events coming up. Thank you for reading the Roar. I know it is packed full of information, but it's always really good information. And like always, if you have any feedback or you want me to address anything during a town hall, or if you have any questions, your emails, phone calls, concerns really help us make our Redeemer the very best place. Also, I want to make one more plug for our Quest for Excellence Fund. We really rely on those funds so that we can keep tuition low. So when we set the 4% tuition increase, we go back and look at how much money is given during QFE and how much money is given during the auction, because we only ask for money 2 times a year. And that's what keeps our tuition low so that we can provide a wonderful education and include as many families as we can. Please take a bagel when you go, and thank you for joining us in person and on Zoom. And I hope all of you have a wonderful day.